Hello rock gamers, welcome to my new video for the day. Today I wanted to talk about mistakes. So many mistakes. There were sad mistakes made in growing this account. I've got 8 things that I want to talk about. There's no particular order, so let's start in. Let's talk about alliances. When I first started, I'm a person who's extremely loyal. So when I was joining an alliance, I was joining an alliance and I was going to be loyal to that alliance to the end. And as much as being loyal in an alliance is important in Rock, being loyal to the kingdom is more important. And it took me a long time to learn that lesson. And it wasn't really until I got into kingdom leadership in 1837 that I really learned that you gotta pull together as a kingdom. And so I was in 1193 where I started this account. I started with a little alliance, and then that one got demolished, and I joined another alliance that was a bit bigger and a little did better, but we got into zone 2, and that's about as far as we got. And we were all determined we were going to play together no matter what. We weren't going to move alliances, and we stunted our own growth that way. We didn't take advantage of joining larger alliances and pulling forward in KVK and taking advantage of that. And when I moved this account to 1444, it was much the same thing. I was with an even larger alliance in the scheme of things, but still, when it came to KVK there, we were determined we were going to go in together or not at all. And so it was not at all. And we didn't realize that it really is about the kingdom. The next thing is commanders. Oh, I upgraded some real doozies. Right off the bat, I was looking at the commander power. That's all I was looking at. I thought, oh geez, this one, when I got at the same level as this one has more power, so I'm gonna dump, all sorts of effort into upgrading commanders, and so I had upgraded Herman, which Herman's a not bad commander, in the early game. He's not bad, but certainly I wouldn't spend any experience books on him now, realizing where he's at. But what I did do is I dumped legendary universals into commanders such as Frederick, Caesar, Cao, Cleopatra. I put universals into Cleopatra. And I just didn't have a clue. I was such a noob at the start. So many wasted legendary universals. How I wish I had those ones back. Another I did is I misuse a lot of AP bottles. I had all sorts of AP bottles sitting around, and I thought when because I didn't really participate in KVK, 1 and 2, because we just, like I talked about the beginning of the video, we didn't go in this alliance, so we didn't go in, and so I had all these AP bottles sitting around, and when it came to Mightiest Governor Barbarian event or Lohar, I would spend all sorts of bottles on those events for trying to get personal gain instead of benefiting the kingdom. Not the way to use your AP bottles. Now, if I had to do it all over again, I'd say, right from the very beginning, right from when you first start an account, start saving your AP bottles. Even when that first Lohar starts up, that first Lohar event, don't spend your AP bottles there either. I mean, Lohar's okay in the early game for hunting barbs, and I still use him for hunting barbs, but he's not worth spending your AP bottles on. You'll get him there. You don't have to worry about it. You'll get him there, but don't use your AP bottles. Save them. Save them all along. Wait till to use them pretty much for KVK. Oh, there's a couple events that make sense to use a little bit of here and there, like the arms training, things like that, but I wouldn't use them outside of, pretty much like 95% of my AP bottles are now KVK only. Not doing forts. Yeah, early in the game, we were, we didn't keep our cities close by. We were more interested in hunting barbarians than we were forts. We didn't know any better, so we didn't do a lot of forts. And because of that, when I migrated this account, my 99 account to 1444, my castle was a grand total of like 11 or 12. I had hardly any rally capacity. So I was having to rely on other people's starting fort rallies in order to start upgrading it. And it took me a while to do it that way. But I really, it's 30 million when I moved this account from 1193 to 1444, and I really should have had a castle in that, certainly 22 range or so, somewhere, give or take a little bit, not 11 or 12. So right from the very beginning, as soon as forts appear, you need to, as an alliance, organize to do forts. Yeah, that's where you got to spend your AP. When you're online, do forts. They are the best value, way better value for both the alliance and individually, and they help you get towards that end game goal of T5s with fewer gems spent on books. Which brings me to the next thing, which is not spending gems wisely. Oh, the wastage. The wastage of my gems was phenomenal. I'll show you here. When I would go into, my merchant's not here right now. When I would go into the merchant and I would see a resource pack that was 90% off, 27 gems, I went gaga over that. I like, wow, 90% off. That's a great sale. And I bought them. And I bought many of them that way. I thought it's only 27 gems. But the thing is I would buy 10 like that a day. So I was spending 270 gems a day like that. And it adds up. It really adds up pretty quickly. So I don't spend gems in the Mysterious Merchant ever. I mean, if you're a whale, I get it. There is some value in it if you have the gems to spend. Get the 90% off. But I certainly would not. I wouldn't spend it there. There's other things too I use gems for. It makes sense. I think the gems, in the early game, you're going to be using them for the wheels. And would I unlock Richard? Yeah. But really, where you really want to spend your gems is going to be YSG and Alex in the early game. That's where your gems need to go. Other than that, hold on to them suckers. Especially if you're free to play or a low spender. I'm doing bad in the Scholar this week. Now that takes me to not watching what events were coming and taking advantage of them. You know, I just didn't pay attention to events. If the Lions leader said, there's an event coming and do it, that's what I did. I never watched for what was coming, never prepared. I just happily went on, on my way from this to that, and really, if you want to make the most of the time you're playing, watch everything. It's all spelled out in the coming event schedule, or when you're starting a new account in the in your in here in the monument. It spells out what's coming. Just watch these events. Be prepared for them, and participate with your alliance. I would say it was a year and a good year and a half before I played my first Ark of Osiris. I missed out on so many golden heads that way. It wasn't until 1444, I was in there for a couple months, and they said, we're playing this. There's golden heads available, and they're very useful. And I'm like, okay, And when I first started participating, I realized I was enjoying it. And then I realized what I had been missing out on. So, there's many other events that I missed out on as well. It's just one. The thing you got to do is you just got to pay attention to the events. Participate. Participation is everything. Especially if you're free to play or low spender. Another thing I wasted was speed ups. Every MGE I would upgrade my soldiers and build as much as I could to see how far I could get. I would get in, top 100, top 90, top 80 and things. I thought, oh, great, I'm in the top 100. But I never really got anything out of it. The first few MGEs aren't really worth it, in my opinion, to spend anything on. Not until you get to Martel. And even then, you can, if you aren't a top spender, you're probably not going to get it in there anyway. I'd even save your speed ups for just entirely for KVK for the first one, and then save them for a specific commander. Really focus on what you want out of your account. Use them wisely. Make sure that when you're using your speed ups, you're getting something out of it that helps you to help the kingdom. If your speed ups aren't gonna make a difference in KVK, pre-KVK to make a difference, I don't know if it's worth it there. Now, if you're a T5 player that you can put up millions of points, that's a little different. Or if you have so many speed ups that you can, even with T4 you can put up millions of points, great. Like, help the kingdom, absolutely. But if you have a few and you're going to put up a few 100,000 points, sometimes the kingdom will benefit by you saving in that situation. Don't be afraid to ask an R4 and R5, because they'll help you out whether it's worth it or not. Didn't use the VIP shop. I'm gonna go show you that. I left so many speed ups and AP bottles in the VIP shop and didn't purchase them for the longest time. It wasn't. I was almost 2 years into the game before I started. No, about a year and a half into the game. That's when I started buying them. That's when I started realizing they were there to buy. Spend the resources on the AP bottles, the speed ups, the equipment materials. You can give or take these Starlight Sculptures. You can sell those for Alliance credits even if you don't need them anymore. There's those the golden ones too. Like, I mean, they're it's doesn't cost you gems. Buy them, use them to get credits, or use them to save. You know, make those purchases. Those particular purchases that only cost you resources to get. And that concludes my list. Now, it's probably not the only mistakes I made with this account growing it. I certainly didn't get in fighting. Uh, really, not until I got into 1837. I think I had about 20 million kill points for a 40 million account when I first took this account to 1837. And then I started to learn how to fight. And I was really behind the 8-ball commanders and things like that, so it's taken me a while to really increase my capacity to be able to fight. But now I'm at the point where I can make a difference. I can help my kingdom and be a big help on the battlefield. And the earlier you avoid these mistakes I've made and correct them right off the bat, the better you'll be able to help your kingdom earlier. So listen, and you know what? When you are starting out, watch some YouTubers. Don't just watch me either. Like, I mean, I appreciate you watching me. Please subscribe and follow my videos and like them. But choose a couple. Choose 2 or 3. Sometimes the different point of view will make a little bit difference to you on what the way you go. The more viewpoints you gather and that, the better you'll do in this game and the more fun you'll have. So anyway, keep having fun. Enjoy Rising Kingdoms. Thank you.